good man is not the perfect soldier,
Yeah.
Bucky is still the perfect soldier.
Critics have like lost their integrity.
Captain America doesn't essentially stand for America as a country.
The problem is that I don't like Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Character Drop Podcast. I have here with my co-host. Why don't you introduce yourself, bro?
Hello. It's Cody, Captain Cody on TikTok. Probably seen me guest star on a few podcasts, but now we got our own.
Yeah, we're on our own, and
How exciting is that?
Oh, dude, I'm stoked, bro. Like, I'm stoked. It's been a while since I've been behind the mic, you know. And we actually were on a podcast beforehand, with he was a co-host. My Latino brother, Year the Collector, isn't with us right now, but that's, if this looks familiar, that's where it's from Crossover Comics. Shout out to those guys. And Year 2, I know I'm a little salty that he's gone, but it's okay. But we're gonna be doing the character drop is something different. Me and Captain Cody over here, we've been brainstorming ideas, and he asked me to help him with this podcast. So we're like, let's focus on a character. This time, it's our first episode. So with all the hype that Marvel is hitting us with, and it's a lot of hype. Thunderbolts just dropped like a few days before this recording, the day before this recording, and then and then Fantastic Four just came out too, and we both of us have like different opinions, so I feel like this is gonna get juicy. And then on top of that, we're gonna talk about if Marvel is gonna be able to live up to the legacy of the original trilogy of Captain America with the new movie coming out. So you guys are in for a treat. All right, where do you want to start? Fantastic Four or Thunderbolts, bro?
Let's hit Thunderbolts, and then we'll go. Okay. We'll get real juicy with the Fantastic Four.
Okay. I see you. All right, man. You want to go first, or you want?
I'll kick this off, man. Honestly, the first trailer was good, but this trailer, I'm excited to an extent, I will say. Now, my hot take on this is Taskmaster was done dirty. I don't think that the character, that their Taskmaster lives up to
the actual Taskmaster.
The Taskmaster, especially like in the Black Widow movie, the trailer, when you saw them like studying the moves, I was like, this is gonna be it, but it wasn't. So like between that and then like bringing Ghost back, I feel like it's kind of just a random mashup of characters.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Don't really make sense.
Yeah, because like it feels like these are the characters that we didn't kill off.
Yeah, or like ones that like the Red Guardian, for instance, like.
See, that is
favorite.
fun. That is fun. Like, I feel like Bucky, Yelena, and John Walker, and what's the other one? Red Guardian. I feel like those are gonna be like the standout because it looks like they're gonna be carrying the movie from the looks of it.
Yeah, and I will say I'm a big fan of the looks that Bucky is like seeming to be like head honcho of the whole thing.
Yeah, me too, because I just started rewatching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And
man, that show's so slept on.
Dude, so I started rewatching. I remember I liked it. But rewatching it, and Year's the one, speaking of Year the Collector, he's the one that like, bro, you gotta watch it. And I started watching it, I'm like, I'm already episode 2 in, I'm like, this is a lot deeper than I remember it to be. Because I remember it was good, like, I think it's one of the better Disney Plus shows, to be honest. I think my problem so far is the villain. Like, the villains are a little, they're alright. But
Smashers?
Yeah, and I just don't, I remember I didn't like the way they, like, closed out Bucky's, like, thing with, like, the old man. Because they didn't really give us, from what I remember. But yeah, the show is good, and I feel like, man, why do they have to separate? I feel like they could have carried a whole movie.
Man, for sure. Even just like their chemistry stemming from Civil War.
Oh yeah, like there's the constant banter, between each other.
And then like the thing that I think is the coolest about that show was you had a whole arc where Bucky was trying to accept Sam as Captain America, because if you could tell, him not getting the shield was a little bit of a, rubbed him the wrong way.
No, I think it was like, I think his thing was, it wasn't that he got the shield. I think he thought that Sam didn't appreciate the shield as much as he should have.
Right, because Sam ended up giving the shield to like a museum or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and it was.
It's been a minute. Yeah, but I will say the ending, that final scene of Sam talking to like the senators and stuff in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I remember that scene like sold me.
Yeah,
on
me
him
too.
being Captain America.
Actually, not even halfway through that. It was like the Baron Zemo. Oh no, when he was talking to like. Was it Baron Zemo? Oh, he was talking to the villain, and just like Steve, he was like trying to get to their better side of the human, like talking to the humanity in them. And I felt like there, I was like, you know what? He deserved, because I was one of those people that was like, you know what? They need a Winter Soldier. Like I was kind of hoping he would get it, because it would be like more edgier version of Captain America, and like. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is how like Bucky gets his redemption arc, and then they go straight to Sam. I'm not mad about it, but I was like, well, yeah, I mean that makes more sense than kind of on the an edgy Captain America, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I think that like I will say too that I think they really undersold Bucky in that show to make Sam, like to elevate Sam.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like I felt like there were just things that like Bucky couldn't do that like he very much should have been able to do. Whereas it looks like once again in Thunderbolts he's able to.
He looks like he's running.
Decimate.
Yeah.
What's the thing? There's the one where he just like the one clip where it looks like he puts the hook like straight in the ground.
Yeah, and he just like pulls the car like nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it looks like Bucky like gets his powers back almost. Dude, it seems.
Was it me or was that Void? Was that the Void? Like Sentry.
Dude, the second I saw the dude floating in the air and I saw that cape, my heart like.
Dude, like, I feel like they're blurring that out. They're blurring that out, dude.
Well, and like when I think about it, like Sentry versus the Thunderbolts is like me fighting a group of 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Then not just like, that, but like Bucky has super strength. So does what? Who else has super strength? Well,
Red Guardian, I think, has like a variation of it, doesn't he?
Yeah, and who else? The other one, Walker, U.S. Agent.
Yes.
But
did he get the serum in the show?
Yeah, he got it. You remember that's why he like got all crazy and like he
right, yeah,
he offed that dude with the Captain America shield.
Yeah.
For like killing his best friend.
That was wild.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, dude, like I mean there's super strength, right? Where these guys are at. And there's Sentry. You see the gap? There's a big gap. And not just that, but I'm like, I think maybe it's kind of like, I wonder if they got a hold of that what do you call that? The Task Force X movie script where they're going to go against going against like Superman. That's what this kind of feels like a little. But honestly, this might cause some controversy, but after this last trailer, I think I'm more hyped for this than Fantastic Four. I don't read Fantastic Four. All I remember was the movies from the 2000s, and I think I read a couple of issues, but I don't know, man. I don't know, but man, this trailer, I was like, oh, dude, this is gonna be heat. I had my reservations, but I'm like, dude, this might be good. But then Marvel's really good at making trailers too.
They're so good at psyching us out. Like, look at Infinity War.
Dude,
everyone thought Hulk was on that battlefield. He didn't show up once.
And not just that, but why are they putting the asterisks at the end of what he cut?
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing that? Yeah, I'm like, don't tell me this is gonna be like Dark Avengers or something. Which honestly, what they should have done is like Secret Invasion, make that whole phase to get us to like root for make a new team since like all the Skrulls have been like invading. Like get Shang-Chi on the team and like Sam Wilson. They should have done that, and then this would have been like Dark Avengers, and then it would have been Siege, and then it would have been like it could have kept escalating, but they just they fumbled the ball.
I feel like whenever they take a storyline directly from the comics, it's a fumble.
I don't know. Because, Civil War was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Civil War was really good for like what it was. I just feel like the whole Secret Invasion thing, like,
oh man, that was such a bad show.
Never captured me. Like, I'll be honest, I couldn't even finish the show.
I didn't finish it either. I was like, you know what, this is nothing like the comic book, and because like comic book is probably one of my favorite comic book events. Like, I know that might be a little controversial, but like. The reveal, like, I remember reading that back in the day, like, oh my gosh, like, what do you call it, like, there's a Skrull there, and I'm like, oh man, dude, I was a kid, I was like, dude, this is one of the best, oh man, it was Brian Michael Bendis at his best, but yeah.
I will say Rhodey being a Skrull was pretty crazy, but
it kind of lost its wind after, like, a while. I think it was just, like, hey guys, don't forget, we have a show out, like,
yeah, the Marvel shows are like, I find for every like 4 they put out, maybe 1 or 2 hit.
Yeah.
Like, they had that stretch where they put out like Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and all that, and like She-Hulk had like a couple cool moments, but was nothing spectacular for me.
Yeah,
and,
same.
Moon Knight was awesome.
And you know what's weird? I really like Moon Knight, but now that because I started reading the comics because of it, I'm kind of disappointed with Moon Knight compared to the actual comics.
Dude, you're the first person who's ever agreed with me on that. So as someone who's read a bunch of Moon Knight comics, when I saw the show, it was cool for what it was, but I was honestly so let down because I was like, you've captured Moon Knight, great. But you've done so bad at like I don't like how they did like the whole scared Moon Knight thing. Like, I wanted, like, Stephen Grant and Jake Lockley and Mark Spector, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted all those variations of him where I feel like...
And then every time he got violent, they would just turn away.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's very lazy. Like, very, very lazy. I'm like, Marvel's just... I don't know. But, yeah, let's try to stay on topic, though, with the Thunderbolts. So what do you think? You think Thunderbolts will be like? I think it might be a surprise hit, and like people are gonna be like, "Oh, you have to watch it. You have to watch it." Like, I know everybody's gonna go for Fantastic Four, but
I can see Thunderbolts not performing its opening weekend, but once that second weekend hits and the review, like people start going to see it, and the reviews start really coming out from like fans of the show, not like critics.
Yeah, because critics
are paid to watch movies. Because like,
they're paid.
I never listened to.
I used to, but then whenever like in the last few years, critics have like lost their integrity because they've admitted getting paid to make good reviews. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think I agree. I think it'll be like a surprise smash hit that I think will like.
Oh, this is actually good.
Will kind of come out and be like a resurgence to be like, oh, dang, Marvel can like show up and show out.
Yeah, because it seems like they kind of picked it up last year with X-Men '97, and I heard the Agatha show was good, but I didn't watch it. I'm not into magic.
I haven't watched the Agatha show. I've seen a bunch on it though. Like, I do like that Wiccan is part of the universe now.
Yeah, now they just need Speed, right? That's the twin brother.
Yeah, I will say though, I did like the actors from WandaVision who played the kids more.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I just feel like that kid looked more like Wiccan, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there could have been something with that he couldn't make it. I just felt like those kids, like when they had that Halloween scene.
Oh yeah,
it really
Halloween
did look
episodes.
like they were just like stripped out of the comic books for those costumes, and like the way the kid's hair fell and everything.
Yeah,
just like screamed Wiccan to me.
Yeah, that was actually another good show, but yeah, Thunderbolts. I think it might be. I agree with what you're saying too. I feel like if it's as good as the trailers make it out to seem, it's probably gonna be the one where like, guys, you have to watch it. Like, this one's worth watching the movie theaters.
For sure. I agree,
but I don't think it'll make as much as Fantastic Four.
No, I think Fantastic Four will perform better. But I think in terms of standards and what you're going to be looking for in each film are going to be woefully different.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the standard for Fantastic Four, that bar is set so high to make a good movie. Whereas Thunderbolts, unless you're a Marvel fan, a lot of people don't even know that the Thunderbolts are a thing.
Yeah, and not just that, but I've been seeing people online
that's been around for so long.
Yeah, then not just that, but generalizing, like people are saying, "Oh, is Marvel doing Suicide Squad?"
And that's exactly it. And like, they are very much relatable, sure, but like,
they're completely different.
This isn't just Marvel like trying to swoop in and steal something.
Yeah, because Marvel and DC and comics have always kind of had like similar stuff, like X-Men and Doom Patrol, and we go down the list over and over again. But yeah, this
for sure.
Like, I think Thunderbolts might be a surprise hit, but since you know more about Fantastic Four, I'll let you take the reins on that one, because I thought it looked good, but I'm like, it's coming out the same month as Superman, and the Superman trailer got me more hyped than Fantastic Four. But I mean, from a couple buddies of mine from what do you call it? From a podcast, Point 3, they said that Superman had to deliver because DC's has been on like a down trickle.
I would say both of those films have to deliver.
Yeah, especially with Fantastic Four, because people have lost interest in Marvel.
That's the thing, is both of those movies, there's so much expectation on them, because you've had now three overall, but I guess like two current iterations of the Fantastic Four. Both, like, some people liked, some people didn't like. I was a fan of the 2005 one for what it was. I will say the dude that played that, Reed Richards, was picture perfect.
Yeah, he looked. Yeah,
Chris Evans was great.
Oh, I love Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. He had like the best parts in the movies.
Well, just actually in front of me, I have like.
Oh.
Like, I have all them here. I got like a Mole Man, a Human Torch.
So you are a fan.
So like, I love the Fantastic Four. I always have, and like, everyone always is like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of Human Torch." Like, I love Reed.
A lot of people
big fan of Reed Richards.
A lot of people like him.
Yeah, and I think the reasons being is like the best way, and I think it was Year who first described it like this, but like, it's so accurate. But Reed is the king of missing the point.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
As in, like,
is he like one of those people like in like real life, or like
he's just aloof?
Because like you know how like there's exactly, like they're like, there's people in real life that are like, they're super smart, they're good at what they do, but everything outside of that, it's just they don't know, and like they don't pick up on the social cues.
That's exactly it. Like, so is
he like autistic?
Sue could walk in like crying.
Uh-huh.
and he'd be like in the middle of a thing, and he'd be like, not even notice, and she'd be like, I'm in tears, and he'd be like, oh, and like would like finally zoom in. He's just like
Steve Jobs,
the smartest man in the world. He has no, he just, it doesn't, outside things just don't connect to him, right? And like you can tell there's like a very clear lack of empathy in Reed because of how smart he is. It like he just doesn't think about things the way we do. And I think the coolest thing about Reed Richards is he's so nerdy and so like awkward that he gives like that soft kind of cowardly vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you mess with the family or like his kids or Sue, you see this other side of Reed that is like the IQ switches from like a science IQ to like a battle IQ.
Oh no!
And all of a sudden you have this dude who turns and who's just like, I can stretch my body in all these ways, and I understand physics better than anyone here.
Oh, that already sounds scary.
And so then he just like starts dog walking people. Like there's
really?
comics where he just like gets huge and it just gets like really buff so he can like hit harder. Oh yeah, Reed does like wild things in the comics. And, like that's why everyone who doesn't like Pedro Pascal as it, I love, because I've watched clips from The Last of Us and you see the calm, the loving demeanor.
The duality of man, I guess.
But then when you watch Game of Thrones, Pedro Pascal, you see this version of him that's just like, I am untouchable. Like, you're not even on my level. Like, you can't, comprehending a fight with me is not something you could think of.
He's also Mando, isn't he?
Those two. Exactly, yeah. And so, like, I think there's so much showing this, like, softness to
being a killer.
The power that Reed has, like that duality, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Pedro is going to capture that beautifully. And that scene in the beginning where he's like, every Sunday, 6 o'clock, we're here, no matter what. That scene, I think, is so crucial to Reed as a character because he never really had that. Reed was always like the smartest kid, but now that he has Baxter Building, because by this movie, the future foundation is there. Franklin Richards is baby as far as I'm aware. So, like, Reed has a family now. So you're dealing with a version of Reed that is, like, well-versed in his powers, who has things to lose. So you get that really crazy version of Reed that, like, sometimes borders the line of, like, the Maker.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets too mad, or when he's like, if I don't solve this, the world's over. He goes crazy in his own mind. And then when you go to like the only casting I'm worried about is the Human Torch.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Quinn, like, he looks the part.
Like, but he only had like 5 seconds in the trailer, though.
That's the thing, is you don't really see much. I will say, like, the flame, like, it looks sweet. I love the way it looks like, because my biggest thing is I wanted them to use CGI. I don't want any practical effects for the Fantastic Four. None of them are practical. And, like,
I saw the Thing. The Thing looks like they're going to be doing both.
Yeah, when, like, I love that. Like, I love the big, thick eyebrows. Like, I saw someone else comment, or someone post today, that, like, the eyebrows looked like they look silly, but I was like, yeah, but the Thing looks silly. That's why he's the Thing. He's, like, uncomfortable and hard to look at. So I was like, the big eyebrows is so reminiscent of the comic books. And then, like, the way he sounds when he, like, moves his mouth and stuff, how you can almost hear it's like rocks shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that little touch.
What about Sue?
I think it's cool. Oh man, Sue gets me so excited.
Did they get it right?
I think so. I will say that Vanessa Kirby, that scene where she's like doing the spell and her hair's kind of like back in like that mane look.
Mm-hmm.
I like that scene might be my favorite because, like, it literally, like, she just has the look. And I've seen so much with her with people being like, oh, well, she's not hot enough, and it's like, but Sue isn't like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She's like that, like, motherly figure. You know what I mean? And that's where I think Sue's real personality and like that beautifulness of Sue really comes in, is because she's beautiful in the terms of like her soul is so much bigger than like than herself.
Yeah. And
the coolest thing I like is when she uses her powers, you can see the rainbow on the side of it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I love that they're using like that it's a real like force field she has, and that the sun is obviously playing off of a force field. So I can't wait to see what it looks like when she fully goes invisible, or like,
because this is still a teaser trailer. Yeah, this is still a teaser.
That's
like,
the thing.
And it was like a minute and a half.
And like we didn't see Reed's powers at all.
We didn't, yeah, and
like,
we didn't see
that
much.
Say too, watching the Thing run was really great because the Thing is actually a very fast runner.
Really?
He can actually haul ass when he runs. Yeah, because he'll like dig his feet. He'll like push his toes into the ground and like propel himself almost.
I didn't know that. Well, he is super strong, right? Really... And he fights with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw some people like complaining that he wasn't big enough.
Which is crazy because he's smaller than Reed.
Really?
The Thing's only 6 foot tall, and Reed is 6'1". He's not tall.
Like, see, I'm learning all this right now, dude. I'm like,
yeah, he's thick, he's wider, but like this idea that he's the size of the Hulk is not actually true. Like he's absolutely the strongest, but he's not the tall, like physically biggest member of the Fantastic Four.
Maybe because I played Marvel Alliance too much, and I remember he was one of the bigger ones.
That's exactly it. Well, and a lot of like the newer comics have him as like this towering force because like he does fight the Hulk, but like Wolverine fights the Hulk, Captain America fights the Hulk, Thor fights the Hulk, and they're just regular size.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Thing is at a real disadvantage.
Yeah, because I've seen like
especially with
Hulk and like him, they're like that.
Whereas like it'd be like the Hulk and like the Thing.
Yeah.
It's like Captain America's. Like that's the thing is Cap's taller than the Thing.
That is
like,
a lot of the Marvel
characters are physically taller than him. Yeah, it's weird. Like it's. So I think that'll be cool because that also lends to the power of the. And like everyone hating his height, he was smaller than almost everyone in the 2005 films. If you look at the shot of them together, he's still smaller than them.
I gotta see that again. I've been wanting to watch him again.
Force take he's bigger, but
we don't talk about that, man. I couldn't finish that one. I couldn't finish it, dude. Yeah. Like it was so bad, dude. Me and my sister, we rented it. We got about like halfway, like not even halfway, like maybe 20 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes, and we're like,
man. Once I saw the even just the clip of Reed's like arm stretching out and how creepy it looked, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just... See, and that's the thing is, like, the coolest thing about the Fantastic Four is there's so many iterations of them. Because you have the Council of Reeds, which would also be amazing to eventually see one day, because if he is the future Foundation, he has the Council of Reeds. Which, like, would be a cool way to bring in, like, 2005. Fan Forstig, John Krasinski.
You know what would be cool though? Like, since they are doing like multiple dimensions, I would like to see like the Maker, and it'd be like the 2000 like, since the Fan Forstig was taken so bad, and that actor who plays him, him as like the Maker would be awesome.
And that's the thing is you have these crazy versions of Reed Richards. Like, I think there's one, I might be wrong, but I think there's a version of Reed where he's like a literal god at this point. Like, there's so many variations, and I will say that like the current run right now for Marvel,
I heard it's actually pretty good.
Looking group.
Oh, Year told me it's actually really like, good. The new run.
Man, and like Jonathan Hickman writing the Fantastic Four too. Like Hickman's incredible.
Oh, always.
He's flawless.
I had the
Fantastic Four stuff. Oh,
it's the best ones or what? That's what I heard. I heard it's better than like the Avengers and Secret. I heard Secret Wars is actually the. From what I've heard, is that Secret Wars is the actual ending to the Fantastic Four run.
Is it's as far as I know, yeah. And like I'm not really caught up on like I'm reading the current run right now. But like my favorite, I have it in front of me. I think it came out around 2011, but it's written by Matt Fraction. I think that's his name.
Matt Fraction is such a good writer, man. I don't know if you ever read his Hawkeye run.
Like, I haven't, but like, if you're looking to get into Fantastic Four, the Matt Fraction run is wicked.
He's a good writer, man.
Well, and I think this is the one that ties into. It ties into the Fantastic Four, so I might be wrong about this, but anyways, it's Fantastic Four. Reed is the powers that Reed has.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to kill them.
What?
So, like Reed's skin is starting to like the cells are starting to eat themselves away. So he ends up going to multiple realities with his kids and everything to try and find a cure.
The multiverse thing is because I heard that's actually like a thing with the Fantastic Four, that it's a multiverse.
Oh yeah, they go reality hopping consistently. Like they have like a really great arc where they fight Rama Tut, which is a Kang variant.
Yeah,
in like ancient Egypt.
And man, dude, that's another thing with Marvel, man. They really botched it with Kang.
Apparently, they're bringing him back.
That's what I heard too, but like,
but yeah, it leads into when they leave Earth. It's supposed to be them gone for like 4 seconds Earth time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's way longer than that, and they get new people to take over as the Fantastic Four. So they get Scott Lang, She-Hulk, Medusa, and I forget who else. I forget her name, but she's like one of Johnny's friends, and she essentially gets to wear like she gets a suit that's like the thing.
Mm.
But they're only supposed to be the Fantastic Four for like 4.5 minutes. But then nothing happens, and all of a sudden, this old dude with like white hair, and I think like an eye patch comes down, and it's Johnny.
What?
And he's like, the Fantastic Four are dead. He's like, we went out there. He's like, Dr. Doom killed the Annihilus. Dr. Doom killed Kang, and he's going through multiverses, calling himself Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. And he like dog walks the Fantastic Four.
Dude, bro, man, maybe I am missing out on the Fantastic Four, man. So
wild shit.
So like the trailer. So you, as a Fantastic Four fan, from the looks of it, do you think that trailer is actually like? If you're a Fantastic Four fan, do you think it did it justice for what it like that minute and a half?
For sure. Yeah, I think that they were great to elevate on each character in the terms of how their powers look. And then I think the best thing they're doing is making it a futuristic 1960s in another Earth. Because the way I see it, there's no way current MCU Earth could have Reed Richards, all these people floating around.
Yeah, and not just that, but they like name dropped it in like Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, where they said that they charted.
That's the thing. Yeah, and so like with them using Galactus, I'm assuming that this will be like kind of a one hit, kind of they'll get eaten and have to jump galaxies, which like is very much something they do, especially like I saw this little photo, so I don't remember who made it, but it was 5 shots, and it was like kind of showcasing each of the powers of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then it showed Franklin Richards, showed a bottle with the dimensions in it. Franklin Richards is Franklin Richards is.
I know about Franklin Richards and Valeria.
So, like, that's the thing is, like, a part of me isn't sure, like, is Franklin gonna somehow, as like a kid, just like cry and drop him in our universe?
Oh man, I don't know. Now you're making me kind of hyped for Fantastic Four, man. I did not know like all of this. Like I said, I haven't read Fantastic Four. I have the Hickman omnibuses for Fantastic Four, but I know nothing about them.
Well, and then too, like, if Fantastic Four are there, Doom is there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, man, dude, I just don't... The only problem is that I don't like Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
No, it's...
And not just that, he's going to have to... And then how much they're going to pay him? And then they're going to pay him a lot of money, so he's going to want to show his face. And I heard Dr. Doom, you don't show his face at all.
No, like, there's like... Okay, so everyone always argues, there's a few, like, moments, yes, where his face is shown. But in those moments, it's like Darth Vader and Deadpool put together.
Oh.
The metal gets literally melted to his face, like heated and melted.
Jeez, so, like, no wonder he's always pissed off.
He's just like... So, like, and everyone's like, oh, well, Iron Man was Doom. And it's like, yes. Tony Stark went crazy and became Doom. Yes. But this is not Tony Stark. He was cast as Victor Von Doom. So him showing his face abandons character in the same way that I think even in Marvel, Spider-Man showing his face so much kills Spider-Man.
That's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man didn't show his face for like 70 freaking years. No one knew who he was. It was like Civil War was one of the first big times where he did it, and then Aunt May died.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No Way Home. No Way Home.
Yeah, and then even in the Fantastic Four, there's a comic where Spidey's best friends with Johnny Storm.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And there's a comic where he goes there, and Johnny's like, they're eating pizza, and Johnny's like, you can take your mask off, and he's like, I can't. He's like, there's people that I care about, and it takes like a little bit, and he finally does it. And everyone's
like... He just lift up to his nose?
And like, Johnny Storm knew Peter Parker too.
What?
And then Human Torch knew Spider-Man, and so when he does it, Johnny's like, hey Pete. And like, just kind of knew who it was. Because like, he knows both sides of him.
This sounds good. I don't know. Now you really changed my perspective on Fantastic Four. Now, like,
yeah, dude, it'll be so cool, and like, it's interesting to see like what level of powers there are, because like Reed or Sue can eventually like pull the air out of your lungs.
I've heard she can do some crazy things.
Sue is stupid strong. Like,
I heard the whole team is strong.
Force fields, they're crazy. Like Johnny Storm being able to hit like the kind of hot that he does, like burning through metal, all that, and then the Thing being virtually indestructible. Like, then that's what makes their team so good, is that you're essentially like, it's like a D&D team. You have like your cleric, who's like Sue, who can like keep everyone safe and kind of like protect the group. Then you have the Thing, who's your barbarian or your tank, goes in and is just throwing punches and just taking them in return. Then you have Johnny Storm, who's like your paladin, your archer, who's kind of in the background just throwing heat and like sneaking in and doing sneak attacks. And then you have Reed, who's like your... I don't even know what he'd be, but like, yeah, your fighter. He just does everything, you know? Like, he's in the fight. He's also helping, because like the way that Reed can like wrap people up, like take like his fingers and like wrap his fingers around you like 17 times just with his hand, because he can like extend himself to crazy ways. There's ones where he just fully turns into a wheel and just like Reed is crazy. especially when Reed gets mad. Like,
oh, yeah.
he'll just make his fist. He'll make his fist the size of your face and just like, whoa.
I don't know, man. Like, now you're kind of changing. Like, we have to do it. Okay, we're gonna have to do like, because we gotta save some time for the Captain America coming out. But I think we're gonna have to do like a whole entire like Fantastic, maybe a whole month. Like, do part 1 of Hickman and then do part 2 of Hickman Fantastic Four, because that's the omnibuses I have, and not just that, but it'll help my channel too. So sideline guys, I have a YouTube channel. Rome's guide, but yeah, I'm oh man, dude, now because like I've heard like there's this podcast that I used to listen to, and they always were like hyping up that run, and not just that, but like they did 3 episodes dedicated to Doctor Doom, and after listening to those episodes, I was like, man, Doctor Doom sounds so.
Doom is such a slept-on villain. Like,
well, I remember how bad he was. He was like, I remember in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, that one was like, oh man, this guy's like, there's the villains, and then there's Doctor Doom.
Well, and that's how it is in like the comics too. Is like, even in like I think it's Infinity War, I think it was, or Secret Wars, when like Silver Surfer comes down and Doctor Doom dog walks like in seconds.
Because I know what he did to Thanos with like pulling his he pulled a Sub-Zero fatality on him, like ripping his spine out.
Well, and then as he's holding Silver Surfer, he just teleports into the Sanctum Sanctorum in front of Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange goes to fight back, and he's like, and he's just like, shut up. And he's like, listen, like, Doctor Doom's power levels, like, he'll do whatever he wants. Like,
oh man,
between
dude.
Him and his Doom bots, like, and the craziest thing is in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Doom is there too, because that technology that Reed used to like shoot down, that's Doctor Doom's technology.
No way, dude. So they were already teasing
that's
it?
Doom's technology from the comics.
What happens if this? What happens if like Robert Downey Jr. is from that universe?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is because that universe seems a lot darker.
Yeah, it is.
And so, like, I have a feeling that could be where he stems from, but also,
not just that, but that Reed Richards is dead too.
That's the thing. So, like, it would give him like an immediate shot to power, because also in Multiverse of Madness, those robots walking around were very reminiscent of Superior Iron Man.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool to have like Tom Cruise actually show up as like a superior.
I was hoping it was going to be Tom Cruise Iron Man over the Captain Marvel cameo.
Oh, I know, dude. Yeah, because of Captain Marvel. I mean, no offense to like, I know people defend her in her movies, but it's just the right.
She didn't hold enough weight for me to be a variant in 2 different movies like that.
Yeah, and it's not just that, but it's just like they don't give her enough like ethos, you know? Like, you don't make, like, honestly, I rooted more for Rambo. What's her name? The girl, the other one, the one that was Monica Rambeau. I root for her. She has more pathos than Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel feels kind of hollow compared to like Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Like, Monica Rambeau has like a story. She has like, she known her from like a kid, and like she has a more interesting dynamic, and I feel like the Marvels should have like explored that a little more than instead of just giving us action after action. But yeah, I think we're good there on like Fantastic Four, because now you really got me intrigued, and like I did not know all about this. Like,
yeah, we'll do a whole episode on Fantastic Four, man.
We might do two.
I can talk all day. We'll do one right on Doom.
You know, yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. All right,
do a nice villain episode.
Since we're both Captain America fans, so the trilogy of Captain America. Honestly, probably my favorite my favorite. It's my. I think it's my favorite superhero trilogy, and that's beating beating the Dark Knight, because the Dark Knight 1 and 2 are good. The third one kind of drops the ball, and the thing is with the Captain America trilogy, it's not really a trilogy, because you get Captain America, you get Avengers, and then Winter Soldier, and then Age of Ultron. But Age of Ultron doesn't really push Steve that much.
No, I found that one kind of kept characters pretty stagnant. Didn't really
and then
push the, other than Iron Man, it didn't really push anyone much.
Exactly, yeah, and it felt more like Iron Man and Friends. But then there was Civil War, which is great. I really think it still holds up as one of the best Marvel has done. I know it has its problems, but I don't think those problems affect the movie as much as people make it out to seem. And I think Marvel, like, what else came after that? Oh yeah, Infinity War. Captain America didn't have much to do in that one. He was in there like 10 minutes the most. Right?
Yeah, he was really just there as like the fighting force, but like even in those movies.
But like, even Infinity War,
that spear from Proxima Midnight.
Oh, dude, the crowd erupted. The crowd erupted. Not just that, but like dude, he's just so badass in that. But anyways, he was, and then I mean, he didn't really have much to do, but like you can tell there was character development with just like how he was interacting with the other characters, because you could tell like, okay, this guy, his country doesn't like him, his friends don't like him, like, so he was doing it out of duty instead of just like, so that's what I really liked about it. And then I think my favorite where it comes together is Endgame. I think that's why I like Endgame way more than Infinity War, because it gives Steve like his goodbye,
That hammer moment.
Oh, bro, dude.
I
had it on my Facebook, because someone made some artwork with like Captain America where like they had Thanos with like the gauntlet. I don't know if you've seen the fan art where like they have him with the thing where like he's like facing up against against Thanos with the hammer. And I had it quoted on my Facebook, like I think it was like 3 or 4 years before that happened, or like, because like they were kind of teasing it with Age of Ultron, and like there was like a meet there, and I was like, if this happens, I'm gonna have a nerdgasm so hard in the theater.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro, my theater was all right compared to like, it was better than than Infinity War, but Endgame. Bro, I jumped out of my seat, bro, whenever he got that hammer.
My theater blew up.
Oh, bro, it was just, it's one of those moments that you can't recreate, man. Like, it's like you had to be there type of moment.
Yeah, well, it was funny. So I was there with my wife. And I'm pretty sure we were flying to Vegas the next day, because it was right around my 25th birthday. And I remember watching it, and like when those three started fighting, I was like, oh, sick. I saw Thor getting beat down, and I remember thinking, I was like, come on. I was like, this is the moment. And then that hammer raised, and I was like, huh?
Now, I thought the hammer.
I was like,
dude,
I was like, no. And then when he caught it, I was like, oh my god. And then just the way he like my favorite spot in that is when he throws the shield and then hits it back again.
Oh yeah, we're hammer. Like, dude, he was doing combos, bro. He was doing combos.
And just like the way he's like shoots lightning and everything. I was like, good.
Oh, dude, it was so awesome, man.
Like that scene, I like, and so like me considering, like, don't get me wrong, I love Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
I think the character who plays him does him so much justice, especially Sam being such a prevalent character in Captain America's lore, in Steve's history. Falcon and then Sam taking over are so powerful. And I think them, I know like the controversy between Bucky not getting it and Sam getting it over him. But I think if you look back at the first Avenger and Dr. Erskine, I always mess his name up, but when he was like, it's for a good man, not the perfect soldier.
Yeah.
Bucky is still the perfect soldier.
That is true.
Sam is a good man.
That is true. That is so true.
So that shield still goes to just a good man.
Yeah, and
because like, don't get me wrong, Bucky is great. But even if you look at Ultimates, when Bucky does take over, that's a very ruthless Captain America.
Yeah.
He deals with his enemies in a very
different way.
In not so much of just an incapacitating way, but in like a way like a Batman-esque, you know?
Brutal.
He's out to hurt them.
Yeah.
And so I think Sam getting it is really great because it still leads and lends into what Captain America represents. Which actually leads me into my next thing I want to talk about, controversy, with what Anthony Mackie said.
What did he say?
About how more so it's ideals.
Yeah, it's values.
And the values that it upholds. And a lot of people got really upset and they're like, well, it's America in his name. And it's like, yes. But if you look at the comics, whenever the government went tyrannical or he didn't agree,
yeah, he
was
it up.
The first person to drop that shield and be like, no, I don't agree. And it's the same as everyone being like, oh, Captain America's woke. Dude's always been woke.
Yeah. I don't think woke
like,
is the thing. I think that term is misused a lot. I think for him, he's very patriotic to the point, but not patriotic to the values. He has a lot of integrity. And I think a lot of people will just put him in that category of wokeness, but I don't think it's woke because in a time before that term started getting used and derogatory and all that, I think back then, whenever you were woke, you were like... Because I listened to a lot of rap. And I remember before then, like, Nas, he would say stuff like that, like, if you were speaking the truth, you were kind of woke back then. Like, you were considered woke as what
it
is. Now it's evolved into a completely different thing. But back then, that's what it was. It was you're speaking the truth because the truth is not comfortable for everyone. People like to live in their lives.
Yeah.
People like to live in their lives.
That's why I think Cap is so unique, is because he's the truth in the face of, like, all the lies and adversity. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, Civil War, like we touched on, shows that perfectly. And he understands that, like, yes, they've done some not great things in how they've handled, you know, catastrophic situations. But he also agrees that, like, having the government regulate you, like he said, like, anyone with an agenda
can manipulate
agendas change.
Yeah.
Which is, like, so true.
And it's scary. It's scary because in the previous movie, he learned that lesson very harshly.
Yep. And that's exactly it. And so, like, having Sam and even Anthony Mackie just say those things, it almost makes me more sold on him as
Captain America,
being a fan, knowing that, like, because everyone's comparing it to, like, today's political world. And, like, knowing, like, yes, he's a fake character. And I'm not an expert on Captain America by any means. But I'm not going to say that I don't know a lot about the character, and you as well, that I could tell you straight up that as of, like, 10 years ago, he would have dropped the shit.
Oh, yeah.
He would have dropped it long ago. And he would not pick it, like, he wouldn't, there's no way he'd pick it up now.
Yeah. How divided it is. Honestly, he would go back to being Nomad, but without the cape.
That's exactly it, yeah.
And
I completely agree, and so...
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, and so I think that with the political state of the world, not even just the United States, but the world, and putting a black man in the Stars and Stripes is like, I think the controversialness of it is kind of the best part, because that it should be controversial, because like the ideals of Captain America aren't what you want them to be. They're the ideals of just someone who's morally right.
Yeah, and
who's
I think
morally correct.
I think that goes to that saying from the Batman movie where like it's the ideals that people strive for. Like it's the not that where Ra's al Ghul is telling them like they need something to shake them out of apathy. And people are apathetic right now. Like they're very apathetic, and something like that kind of stirs them up in a different way,
Yeah, even when Sam first became Cap in the comics, the same thing happened.
Oh, and here's a little fact that people don't know about. So Christopher Priest and him, they did Christopher Priest. He's a writer. He did the Black Panther comics. He's the one that made Wakanda like the way it is in the movies. There's other stuff in there, and he's done a lot of great runs.
Yeah.
He made a series called Captain America and Falcon, and I think I want to say in the 90s, right? So he tried making Falcon become Captain America, but Marvel told him no. Yeah, Marvel at the time told him no. Like, that's not going to fly. And I think that's very funny because of how things ended up. Because in the interview with Christopher Priest, because he was talking with Joe Quesada, when Joe Quesada had that short-lived podcast, he was saying that Marvel was pushing no. But the way you hear him describe Sam Wilson, it sounded like, dude, Sam Wilson's the perfect ideal for the next Captain America. And like to let Steve like just retire the shield for a little bit, and then, but funny enough, things ended up happening that way. And it's funny too, because when he finally got the shield, Rick Remender, by the way, he's the one that gave him the shield and everything.
Yeah.
There was a scene where he was saying that they're oh man. Okay, so like at that time they were saying that's not my Captain America. Hashtag that's not my Captain America.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when general audiences first started seeing Walker as Captain America now, they use that same hashtag, not my Captain America. It's funny how history repeats itself in comics so much.
And this time for a dude who a lot of people would assume would be a better Captain America, but once again, he was a perfect soldier.
Yeah.
He was not a good man. And like that.
Yeah, because he compromised. That
shield.
He compromised too many times. Thing. John Walker compromised. Like you could hear the guilt in his voice, because I'm rewatching it right now, and you can hear the guilt in his voice. Like you said, good soldier, but there's a price to that.
That's exactly it. Is like, yes, he understands how to like incapacitate people, but how many times has Cap dealt with things through
talking to
simply
someone.
Connecting to the person?
Exactly. Just watch what happened at the end of Winter Soldier. He believed in his friend.
Exactly it.
He believed in his friend.
Worked.
Yeah, and it worked. Which, I'm not gonna lie,
Russian drain water.
Dude, that is honestly probably my favorite scene in the whole MCU.
When Bucky pulls him out of the water?
No, whenever he's like, I'm with you till the end of the line.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that scene gets me every single time, because I'm like, that's Captain America. Like, oh man, like, I think, because like, I was a big fan of Captain America before the movies, right? Because I think it was, he would show up in the Avengers comics, and I'm like, man, dude, this guy's like, I thought he was kind of corny with the suit, but like how he carries himself as a leader, so selfless, like letting, like, even in Civil War in the comic, I remember like they were walking out and they were telling, and some, I forgot which character is telling them, you're just gonna let them walk out, and like, they have a right to choose. I have no right to keep them here if they want to go with Tony. And I was like, ever since then, I was like, dude, this guy, dude, Captain America is like, I like him. And then whenever he fought, and then whenever he fought the Hulk in that Ultimate Avengers, I was like, dude, this guy's like, he's like Batman, like just as cool as Batman fighting wise. And then he's what do you cut? He has the morals of Superman.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, man, dude, this guy is cool. And whenever, like, I remember the first Avenger, I was like, when they got that scene with Erskine, where he's like a good man, I was like, oh, I think they're gonna do Captain America right. And then when they doubled down on Winter Soldier, we're like, because I was reading like Ed Brubaker comics around the time, and like, it was a scene wherever he tells them, this isn't freedom, this is fear. And then he's like, well, you better get used to it because this is how things are. And then he tells Nick Fury, don't hold your breath. I was like, that's Captain America. That's Captain America. Like, that's Steve Rogers. And because, like, the thing is with Steve Rogers, because even in, like, the Straczynski run that's happening right now, like, there's a scene where, like, you know how, like, old morals of United States was, like, look out for your neighbor. And now it's all about, like, look out for yourself. It's all about you. Like, do the best for you. And, like, we lost that sense of community. And I think in the newer run, like, you can see Captain America cares about other people other than himself. And I think that's what Sam Wilson has. Now, let's go to the actual movie. There's a lot of controversy with, like, how they refilmed it twice. So we'll see how, like, it sucks that this is the thing that happened, because at the time they were switching Bob Iger and the other guy. So we'll see. Hopefully, because I've heard mixed things already about this new movie.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things, and like my thing that gets me a touch hesitant is that the trailers are showing so much action shots.
Yeah, and not like the actual like story, or like the actual like, part of it.
It tends me to believe that they might be relying on
just the action scenes,
on what he can do. And like, I read this years ago, that when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were really diving into Captain America again, because he was such like a classically corny character, per page in Captain America comics, there were more fights than an average comic in a Captain America comic, to keep readers so invested. So like, yes, the action should be there. I just hope that, like, they're just showing so many scenes, like him like getting the rocket and the wings coming around and the shield in front, like that I don't think should have been shown. Him like using his wings to cut through the car.
And that's exactly
pretty much like, openly.
Yeah. See,
and I think that they openly admitted that like he got a Wakandan upgrade.
Yeah, he did, because like in the show, he went to Wakanda to get, or like he fought some of the Wakandans. I don't know if you remember that, and like they were gonna tell him they're gonna upgrade his suit.
Yeah, and so like,
and I don't know if you noticed too, like in the earlier trailers, it looks like Sam Wilson probably took a bit of that formula.
See, so that's one thing I'm also, because
I think that
the weight of that shield flying back to you from like bouncing off trees and ricocheting, like you'd have to imagine that speed picks up immensely. So to have just the strength to like,
well, I remember there was a comic that kind of explained how that works, It was the Death of Captain America. I forgot which one it was, but it was like a 4-arc thing, and they go over several characters. And Iron Man was trying to give it to Hawkeye, and Hawkeye tried on the suit, and he bounced it off, and Iron Man was like, "How'd you do that?" He's like, "It's all about aiming. Everybody thinks it's about strength, but no, it's about aiming." So
yeah, it's physics, really.
Yeah, and
like hitting like the right angle to get it to bounce. But yeah,
But no, because I saw him throw like something with one hand. I'm like, dude, that thing weighs a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure he got the. Because not just that, but like going at that intensity that he's going in the trailers, like, the human body can only take so much. I think he probably got like a bit of a juice. He took the juice.
Well, and him squaring up to the Red Hulk.
There's no way he can, like...
Captain America would have a hard time with the Red Hulk.
And not just that, this one is smarter. Yeah, the Red Hulk is smarter than actual Hulk.
That's the thing, and like, not saying Sam couldn't do it, but like, what if like really like a regular person getting hit by that vibranium's only going to do so much.
They'll absorb the hit, but you have to be strong enough to hold the hit.
That's the thing, is like, it'll take it, but you might still be punched 6 feet into the ground.
Exactly.
You just won't have shattered ribs.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Captain America when he fought Thanos.
Yeah, well, and so like also they have Tiamat with the adamantium.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing more world building in this movie than the actual character building that they should be doing. Because I think since they were teasing it so hard in Winter Soldier that he was gonna he didn't want to take the serum, I think it would have been I think it should have been like an interesting thing that they should have done, like make it from a character point of view, like, okay, he didn't want to take it this whole time in this whole show, so let's give him where he's forced to take it and see how he holds up. Like, is he still going to be that good man that everybody thinks he is, and one that he doesn't want to accept it? And I think that would have been a more interesting, if they don't go that way, I think, and they just concentrate on the action, I feel like that would have been a more interesting story of seeing Sam Wilson take that serum and see how he still holds up. Is he still going to be that good man? Like, you know?
Yeah, totally. Well, and actually just thinking about that, you saying that, it would also sort of lead in as to where the leader comes back.
Yes, and why there's so much Incredible Hulk stuff in this, dude.
That's the thing. You have,
and I heard even Betty Ross is coming back. Where the hell was she in, all the other stuff?
Okay, so that's a real thing I've been asking myself, is she's obsessed with Bruce Banner and the Hulk, they're in love. So she's seen all the shots of him in New York, Sokovia, and has never once been like, hey, I'm just going to go to New York since he's an Avenger and lives at Avengers Tower.
And then him and Black Widow, I just never bought it.
Yeah.
It feels so forced.
Yeah, now them, so this is another thing that worries me about the movie, is you have Adamantium, you have Red Hulk, you have Betty Ross,
the
leader, and you have just him adapting to this brand new Captain America.
And then that other character, too. Esposito or something like that? Something Esposito?
Yeah, so you have the new Falcon, too.
Oh, and then the new Falcon.
And you have Gino, and him playing, I forget who he's playing, I forget his name.
Honestly, they should have brought back Baron Zemo. They should have brought Baron Zemo in.
Yes.
Baron Zemo should have been the villain in this movie instead of, let Baron Zemo, be Baron, okay, he took down the Avengers. Honestly, he's the only, other than Thanos, he's the only one that's technically won against the Avengers.
Yeah, that's the thing, and there's
and not just that, the actor was really good. The actor who plays Baron Zemo is so good.
Yeah, well, and I feel like there's so many different things they could have done with Cap that didn't have to like, don't get me wrong, the Red Hulk is cool. We have 2 Hulks already. I don't like. There's.
And then not just that, but it's not connected to the Hulk. Like, why is the Hulk and Captain America a thing all of a sudden?
That's the thing. Like, are you gonna like? Is Mark Ruffalo included in it? Because like, there's no way you can have Red Hulk, the leader, Betsy Ross running around with Mark Ruffalo's the same. Like, it's Edward Norton. They're the same. It's the same Hulk. So like, you're telling me that if you rewatch that movie and then 20 years later the leader is still out there and
what he has been doing this whole time.
Life, that's the thing, the love of your life's father is now Hulk, and she just comes back and they're just not going to include the Hulk. It just seems like, and this is where I have problems with Marvel lately, is they're trying to do so much in each movie, which is exactly what made like Love and Thunder so sloppy. Mm-hmm. And even Thor Dark World a little sloppy, is because you're doing 20 things in the movie rather than just hitting one thing. Like the first Avenger was great because it was just World War. It's the Red Skull. Awesome. Second one was great. It was the Winter Soldier. Awesome. You nailed it. Civil War, obviously it was bigger, but the idea of the plot was still this way.
Because there's a difference between plot and story, because the plot is what's happening around the characters. True, yeah. Like, it's like the action, the intrigue and all that. The story is what people gravitate towards more. Like take Forrest Gump. What do people like? Do people think about he was in Vietnam, or what do you call it, being a running all across, or do they remember life is like a box of chocolates?
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
So like, people gravitate more towards story. So that's the thing Marvel has like kind of lost in these last few movies. Like, they forget that there's this, like, people go to movies for stories, not for plot. And that's what I'm scared of about this movie, because like, not just that, but dude, you're bringing Sam Wilson. People probably didn't watch the show. People are like, they want to know, like, who, like, is he really worthy of it? And like, I feel like they could have tackled that, like I said, with the serum. Like, he takes a serum, he has to, like, even if it was the Hulk, like, he's gonna have to take it. But is he gonna change? Is he gonna be like is he gonna step up to the plate? Is he gonna earn his spot as the leader of the new Avengers? This is gonna happen. Like, Captain America is the leader of the Avengers. Like, that's how it is. They might change it for this movie.
Going into Doomsday.
Yeah, and going into Doomsday. Like, I feel like Marvel is gonna play catch up with this movie, because they should have set up this movie a long time ago. They should have established the Avengers, like, not established the Avengers, but like, okay, like, there was this thing I saw where like they needed some aces, because in the previous one the aces were Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. And this, like, after that, they should have made Doctor Strange one of the aces, because he ties into so much. They should have made Sam Wilson one of the aces. I don't know who the third one could have been, because Thor, man, they botched that one.
Yeah, well, that's
Shang-Chi was a big step up, and they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah. Well, and so I feel like in the way Marvel is, like, Guardians did so good, I think, because like the action scenes, the music they used, but that fits the Guardians. And like, this is my very hot take, but like, I didn't like Ragnarok either.
Oh, really?
I thought it was a fun movie, but like, I felt like they just made Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor. It was just these big, huge fight scenes with these crazy rock heavy symphony ballads. Don't get me wrong, the movie was fun. The fight was funnier.
I've heard that criticism too, because I've read a lot of Thor comics, and Thor is not. I think in Thor 1, that's the closest we got to the actual Thor. Because Thor being funny is not a thing, because he's like, he faces a lot of hardships. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I think the best version of Thor was probably Infinity War.
Absolutely. Well, and the thing is, like, I agree with you. Like, Thor's not. Like, when I think of funny characters, I think of, like,
Deadpool.
The Flash, Green Lantern, Deadpool. Whereas, like, Thor's more so funny in the way that he doesn't understand Earth.
Yeah, and it's
he says
rare.
Things like, verily. Yeah, the way he talks, like, thou shalt not like, de-arm the son of Odin. Like, the way he speaks is just, it's not the way we do. And I think that's what's funny about Thor.
Like, because it's like
one,
taking him a fish out of water type of situation.
Yeah, when Thor doesn't like the coffee and he smashes it.
And he's like, no, he liked it. He's like, I like this, another. And then he just throws it.
Yeah. And then, so I feel like that phase of Marvel was like prime, because each character had
their own
vibe to the movie.
They had their own personality.
Like, Guardians was big and bright and music filled, which, like, that fits. They're in the cosmos. They're dealing with alien stuff, and Quill's whole life is built around a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in Thor Ragnarok, like, it was really cool, but, like, the whole Hulk line with him being in Sakaar and the Gladiator thing totally killed World War Hulk for me.
Yeah, that could have been, like, a whole movie on itself.
Exactly, and then, like, the thing was, like, Ragnarok, but using, like, the Norse mythology, like, the mythological Ragnarok, and not, like, the clone of Thor.
Oh, there was
created in Civil War, who I originally thought Ragnarok was going to be about.
No, they actually brought it from the Walt Simonson run. So, like, you know how, like, what's the name? Executioner
Scourge?
had, like, Scourge had, like, the Executioner had, like, the guns and everything. And, like, all that was pulled from, like, that run. And it's a very good run.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, Thor Ragnarok should have, like, teased, like, Beta Ray Bill a little.
Yeah.
And not just that, but, like, even, and I want to double down what you said, like, with God, Love and Thunder, like, honestly, they should have let Thor, like, off. They should have gave him, like, a send off, and let Natalie Portman be the new Thor for, like, maybe like 2 films, and then she does, like, a heroic sacrifice like she does in the comics. That would have worked way better. And not just that, she was the best part of the movie.
For sure. Well, and, like, so, like, and I think, so this blends into where I think Marvel's at, is they're either, like, trying to make it this big, like, operatic action symphony.
Which, not just that, but, like, their action isn't that great.
Yeah, like, it's all just haphazard. They're just doing, like...
It feels like,
what's the craziest thing we can make them do?
And the cheapest way we can do it, too.
Yeah, whereas, like, when you look at, like
Winter Soldier,
Captain America Civil War,
or
even Winter Soldier, the moves are practical.
Yeah, and, like, they seem believable. Even now that Daredevil's, like, now part of the MCU, even Daredevil looks believable. Like, people want real action, and not just that, but, like, when you even go back further, Sam Raimi, those fights with Spider-Man, dude, I like, a lot of people like the Doc Ock one. I like way more the one with Norman Osborn at the end.
Green Goblin that one's my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, because it's brutal. It doesn't hold any punches. That's why I kind of liked No Way Home whenever he was fighting, because like, those fight scenes were actually really good compared to Marvel. Because even Shang-Chi had some really good stuff, but they always go for that third act where, like, we're going to make something explode in the sky. It worked in Winter Soldier.
The level of unbelievability.
Yeah, because it worked in Winter Soldier, but after, like, it worked because it worked in that movie. It doesn't always work in every movie, because Black Widow did it, Shang-Chi did it, like, I could go on and on. Like I said, it goes back to story. And, like, they do everything. They're trying to just rush it to, like, make deadlines. And I understand, but, like...
Yeah, like, that's exactly it.
Like, you're making a movie, it's also art. Like, care about what you're doing.
That's the biggest thing is, like, they're not taking the time to respect these characters. And, like, this is one of the reasons why, like, I don't like Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Is because he even said, he's like, I don't read source material.
Oh, a lot of them, like, ever since Phase 4, a lot of them, I don't know if you saw that clip where, like, they all said, oh, yeah. And then the worst thing I don't like about Taika Waititi, which I stopped watching his movies because he said this. He said it as a joke. Maybe if this movie does good, I'll finally read a Thor comic. In, like, a very, like, what do you call it, snarky way. And I'm like,
yeah,
bro, dude, the comics are, like, way better than what you came up with.
But that's exactly it, is, like, they're taking these characters and they're, like, abandoning the core essence of those characters.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the same reason why when Cap became Hydra Cap in the Secret Empire, it took me a minute to get used to that. Because, like, the writers were both Jewish born. And, like, Cap was created for this purpose. And so, like, I understand him being Hydra is, like, it's the perfect story. Because you have Cap who's been this way, this straight edge dude for so long. And then you find out that it's all this. But as a diehard Cap fan, I was like, it just seems ridiculous, hard to swallow.
Yeah, I was the same way. And then when I heard how actually good the story was, I was like,
yeah.
I still haven't read it, but, like, I have the omnibuses. I have the first one. I haven't bought the second one, but I heard it actually pays off in Secret Empire.
Yeah, I've read the first like 3 or 4 issues. It is good, like it. And the craziest part is when he's Hydra Cap, there's still essence of Steve Rogers there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he still won't do any, like, unnecessary killing.
Really?
He's just legitimately trying to save the world to Hydra. But, like, also, like, I just want to say this too. The coolest thing about Captain America and him being this, like, symbol for, like, the hope and, like, I guess what he aspires America to be in terms of coming together. His comic where he punches Hitler in, like, his first ever issue. I might be off by years, but came out 2 years before the Americans even joined World War II.
I heard about that too.
So a lot of people, like a lot of comic book people, like even some historians, almost contribute America joining World War II to Captain America and this cover being a guiding force and sort of showing the Americans that, like, hey, you can do this.
Yeah.
And so Cap taking over and doing these things and, like, being put in these controversial spots, whether it's the movie or the actor, are so prevalent to that character.
Yep.
That as a Cap fan, the more this controversial stuff comes out and the more he explains how he feels and what Captain America represents, makes him more of the right person to be Captain America.
Yep.
Because if someone came in and they're like, oh, Captain America is patriotic and he's America first. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
He's patriotic and he's people first.
Yeah, he's
patriotic
to
blowing up all of the United States, he would do it.
No.
Like, if it was like, hey, you either need to nuke the States or, you know...
Well, I think he cares more about the people than nuking them, but I think, like,
that's the thing.
Like a reestablishment, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he would destroy it if it meant saving all those people and making a better place for them to live. So I think that, like, I think that's a big thing that this movie has going for it now, is that a lot of comic fans are really connecting with Sam doing this, because like I've seen a lot more people who don't read the comics as much, or at least the Sam Wilson runs, being a lot more bitter and hateful towards it than like the real comic book fans who have been reading this stuff for years, who are now like, no, this is a natural progression of where it should go. And like Bucky's not gone, and like Bucky's still gonna very much influence like who Sam is in his version of Captain America, but also like it's so important that Sam uses like the inspiration from Isaiah Bradley and that side of his life too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, and so people complaining about it, they don't understand who Sam Wilson is as a character, and the complaints are kind of falling flat at that point, because you just don't. It's like a critic reviewing a movie they don't understand.
Yeah.
You're going to review it poorly because you're not connecting. You're not understanding like where this is coming from.
It's a poor criticism.
Whereas like we've all seen it. Yeah, that's exactly it. It leads me back to the biggest like example I have of that is Brie Larson and everyone hating her for Captain Marvel, because she complained about old white dudes reviewing movies that they're never going to relate to. And she just said that old white dudes reviewing movies should not happen. And was like, oh, she hates white guys.
See, I didn't know that.
That's not at all what was said.
Yeah, but that's how media works nowadays. Like, once they don't like someone, they'll do anything. Not just that, Anthony Mackie has said other stuff too. Like, that's true. Not just about Captain America, but that is true. But a little controversial. But nobody really like batted an eye when he said some of these things, and I don't know. It's just I feel like people put stars on pedestals. Like, dude, they're people. They're people. They're just like you and me. They have their faults. The thing is, when they're on that stage, people look at their faults more than their their character.
For sure. And like Anthony Mackie was at Midtown Comics the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and was like talking to people and like signing comics and stuff, like just
hanging out.
Because he's in New York, and like that's the dude who should be Captain America. Like Chris Evans was in hospitals all the time.
Oh yeah, like, and a lot of those actors they ended up emulating. Like Chris Evans, he ended up emulating. I think whenever they hang out or whenever they're in these roles, I've noticed that they kind of like act like they get influenced by the roles that they're playing a lot. I don't know if you noticed that.
For sure. Well, and like I think like in Chris Evans, in his case, the thing that sold me on him was the fact that he turned down Captain America a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Because they kept asking him, and he's like, "No, I'm like the funny frat boy." He's like, "It's not my role." And I guess Robert Downey Jr. called him and was like, "This is your role." And like,
yeah, because they were best friends or something like that, right?
Yeah, and he is the perfect image of Captain America to be put on screen.
Yeah, and not just that, but like people always say like Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Even though Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, he changed it for himself, because before that movie, Iron Man was very serious. He wasn't as quippy. He wasn't as
So that's something I actually say all the time whenever, like, because a bunch of people are like, "Oh, Iron Man should win Robert Downey should win an Oscar for this role," and it's like, don't get me wrong, he wasn't bad, but he also was just himself.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Chris Evans was the exact opposite.
Yeah, he has to act.
Yeah, he was everything he's never been in a movie.
Yeah, because like I remember when he first got casted, I was so mad because I was like, Johnny Storm, like. I just started going through all the roles, and I'm like, even in like Scott Pilgrim, like
that's the thing.
Like I was like, this guy is gonna be Captain America, like the funny guy, like the guy who's always playing the dumb jock, like that's what I always thought. I was like, why is he going to be Captain America? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And that first movie, I was like, I eat my words.
Yeah, I agree. We're sitting at an hour and a half. Do you want to call it here?
Yeah, let's call it. This was an interesting. Bounced
around a lot.
Yeah, we bounced around a lot. This is our first episode, but I hope y'all liked it. Let us know down in the comments what else would you like to hear from us. We're gonna do the character drop at least like twice a month, right?
Twice a month for sure. Starting, we'll do like twice a month.
Yeah, we're gonna do it twice a month. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, if you have any characters that you want us to do, as long as like we can get a hold of the comics, we'll do it. Not just Marvel, we'll also do DC, Vertigo, maybe we'll do Image, we'll see.
And if you can pick someone that neither of us know anyone about,
perfect.
That's a huge plus because I'm a big fan. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of characters I don't know. Like, I know them, but I don't know a lot about them. There's thousands of them. So if you guys think of one that you might stump us both on, that'll be even more fun for the both of us. Because we can both learn things the whole way through.
Yeah, and it'll be an interesting conversation because we'll both be, like, new to an idea. And let us know what y'all think. Like, are we wrong about, like, Sam Wilson as a Captain America or Anthony Mackie? Like, let us know. Like, we want to hear from y'all. And yeah, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We are out of here. We're running out of time, but we had a good time. So, deuces, guys. We're out.